Hi, everybody, and welcome to SDI Coffee Break. Thank you for joining us again. Hopefully, you've watched a whole load of these by now. We're joined with Dr. Mauricio Corona, and we're talking about ITIL4, Mauricio, which is really cool, actually. A lot cooler than
Absolutely.
I thought it would be. So, yeah, in the last one, we talked about the move from process to practice, which is really interesting, right? It's a different connotation. It's more of a progressive connotation around the word practice, which I like a lot, actually. So if you look at the service desk, what does that mean for the service desk? If it's now a practice, what does that mean? We were just talking about value, service. What does that mean for how an organization views a service desk and how a service desk acts differently being a practice? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's very interesting, Dave, because I will say that let's start thinking historically how companies, how organizations have been identified with the service desk. Well, 20 years ago, it was merely the entry point to repair things, to repair stuff, to deliver technical stuff, devices, components, install software, and that's it. 10 years ago, it was much more on the approach of delivering some kind of service. But it was considered a function, and I see a function be transactional,
It is.
It was a function, it was a setup of specialized resources contained in one functional area. In this case, you have some resources, you have the general manager, service desk manager, and you have the analyst, maybe level 1, level 2, level 3, and that's it. And you will just behave as a single point of contact, and you will execute processes, mainly incident management and, of course, request fulfillment and that stuff. But right now, what we are seeing in the single point of contact, the single point of contact is becoming the web portal services. It's becoming the shopping cart. It's becoming the telephone assistance. But what about right now? We are interacting with companies and with products and services, and we are talking to chatbots.
Yeah.
We are talking to service bots. We are talking to stuff that are getting machine learning within, so they are improving their own algorithms itself. Who is handling this stuff? Who is behind the chatbots? Who is behind the service bots? It's the service desk guys.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think about automation and all of this interaction with for creating customer experience and user experience. Who is doing that? Marketing? No, marketing is doing just on the pre-sales stuff. But what is happening on the post-sales stuff? They are interacting with these areas. So service desk is becoming huge. It's becoming really, really relevant for our industry today. I don't know what do you think about that. You are very passionate about automation and chatbots and that stuff.
I'm passionate. I'm passionate about service. I'm passionate about service excellence. I'm passionate about the service desk. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing what I do, right? And I think that move from elevating the service desk from a function, a factory, whatever you want to call it, right, into a more strategic asset in an organization and a practice to deliver what we just talked about. Because you're absolutely right. If you look at marketing, if you look at an organization, how it markets service is as important as how it delivers it. So it's all mixed for me. It's how an organization looks at the before, the during, and after, how the service, the front end, delivers a service, how it creates service. And if you look at that, if you look at retail, you said Amazon, right? If you look at retail, the way that the retail is changing, I think IT services, IT is changing in the same way. It needs to become more of a retail experience. So I'm quite excited by the fact that, if we're looking strategically, that the service desk is going to become more, and you're absolutely right. Nobody's yet nailed all these new channels and new technologies. I'd like to think personally that in an organization, if we look at the service desk, that we'd be managing that service relationship forever. So who are the best people to go and talk about what that means? If you're going to look at a customer journey, I like the word customer over user. I know that's a conjecture. We come on to that in another session, actually, right?
That's good.
The service desk has been doing that for forever. So I'd like to think that the next logical progression, using the data that we get from a customer journey, is going to shape, and the service desk will be instrumental into shaping what that becomes. Not just a break fix, not just that functional, what we expect. SLAs, I've got a big deal to do with that, and the way the SLAs are managed in an organization and with third parties and suppliers. So I'm hoping that relationship changes as well as this changes, because it will need to. So that's quite exciting. So what do you think from a service desk perspective, Mauricio? How do I, as a service desk practitioner, change from a guy who's managing a process, managing risk around process, managing the human error around process, delivering SLAs, right? Or I'm going to be in trouble, maybe, I don't know, or certainly be in a situation that I need to recover from. How do I change my mentality in an organization to become part of a practice to deliver value? How is that going to work?
I think that the most important part is to recognize that the service desk will be mainly focused on customer and user experience. And this is the single point of contact to really understand what our users, what our customers, what our consumers are asking for. And the service desk is becoming a relevant part. Why is that? Because they already know our customers, our users, our consumers. They know exactly how our internal departments are working, or maybe a marketing department is working. They are starting to get integrated with another functional areas within the organizations, like marketing, like sales. So that's a completely new way, a new mindset, as you previously mentioned, Dave, to consider. And this is something that it's becoming really interesting. Who are going to be the guys who will be created the right algorithms for automations in customer experience through chatbots, through AI, through anything you want? Well, the service desk guys. So this is very interesting. This practice, this is no longer a function. This new practice is becoming one of the main, I will say, value that we need to consider on every single phase of our product or service development. It doesn't matter if it's on the designing stuff, on the transitioning stuff, on the testing stuff. It doesn't matter if it's already in production. Then we need to consider this single point of contact as the customer experience and user experience.
I think it's really positive, Mauricio. I think if you look at where we're going, then this certainly makes sense. I think I talked to a number of organizations about what ML means and what AI means. I've talked to a number of vendors as well. And I think it's still a changing landscape, right? I think what I'm starting to see, though, is that customer support services in an organization are starting to converge. So, if you look at IT support, it's always been IT support because we've always needed to have administration, be trained to do stuff, have the skills to do stuff. And as you said, it's functional, it's process related, it's silo related. So with these changes, I think it underpins more of a converging support thing. So you could look at an organization, you could look at IT, you could look at facilities, you could look at HR, you could look at any part of the organization that needs support services, right? Contact center, frontline. And I think what it means with the way that this thing has been positioned now, ITIL4, and the way that machine learning and AI are starting to take away some of that lower value workloads, and you can see that across an organization, it potentially means that service support is converging. So the skills within a service support is more important than the silo skills within separate sections.
Absolutely.
And that is really exciting, because if you look at the before, the during, and after in a service relationship with a customer, whether that be a commercial customer or relationship external or internal, it gives the service desk more scope to create service. And I've said it and I'll say it again. We are accountable. The service desk is accountable for delivering that in an organization.
That's right.
Some organizations don't see it like that. Some organizations see themselves accountable for delivering SLAs. But ultimately, if you look at the combined effort of everything we do, it is about the end result, which is the experience that a person gets. Well, take a breath.
Really nice.
So I think it's very exciting, Mauricio, and I think we'll come on to the next session after this, I think, where we talk about maybe some thoughts on adoption of this, maybe by organizations. Thank you for that. That's probably the longest one we've done. We probably talked way too much on that one, right? But it's been a good one. I enjoyed that. So thank you for listening, everybody. Hopefully, a few guys going back to work after their coffee, and we'll catch you in the next session. Thank you.